Once upon a time, I worked with a guy who was in a recognized cult. The cult was all about peace and love, and yes, of course, the spiritual leader was having sex with all of his cute male students. This guy I worked with was a drop-dead handsome Italian professional volleyball player and a photographer. He was really tall and absolutely ripped with muscle. Women absolutely melted at his feet, and yes, they did very much want to meet with him privately so he could photograph them. He was generally a very nice guy and used to call me and all of us my brother in his thick Italian accent. This became kind of a meme at my workplace, and soon all of us guys were calling each other my brother. Like I said, he was a nice guy, but there was also this contradiction in him that I could sense. On the one hand, he was a total dog. He loved photographing hot women and working out. On the other hand, he was in this cult that only spiritually evolved and physically very beautiful people were allowed to join. And they would gather together at this health food store where we worked, because they were all health nuts too, and they would group together outside the store in these big collective group hugs. And they would just stand there holding each other for 10 or 20 minutes, face to face, staring deeply into each other's eyes while smiling serenely, making the rest of us feel sort of a weird mixture of exclusion and jealousy, and yet creeped out at the very same time. So anyway, I'll never forget this one interaction I had with this Italian coworker of mine. It's one of those memories that got permanently seared into my brain in a way that 99% of memories don't. It happened one day that we got into a petty argument about something, I don't remember what, and neither one of us was backing down, so it escalated. Me, the 5'10", somewhat confrontational guy, and him, the 6'4", muscle-bound athlete who could pick me up and break me in half across his knee if he wanted to. At one point, he's yelling at me, and I say something to the effect of, "Why are you getting so angry?" Wrong thing to say. He stares down at me with this ferocious look of pure anger and practically screams inside the health food store, "I am not angry!" And that was it. My mind totally stopped. The contradiction in that moment was so severe that I was unable to formulate a response. I just stared at him in amazement as the image of his angry face burned itself into my memory forever. You know, every once in a while I remember that incident and I still chuckle about it 30 years later. Denial. It's not just a river in Egypt, y'all. Projection. It's not just a... Okay, there's no river that rhymes with projection. Anyway, denial and projection are two sides of the very same coin. And my poor Italian friend was caught in a double bind. On the one hand, he was one of the chosen, the beautiful, the spiritually evolved, who did not get angry because anger is a lower, impure vibration. And on the other hand, he was freaking angry because he's a big testosterone-filled dude and I was pushing his buttons. Okay, so that's the setup. That's my metaphor, or simile, whatever it is. It's firmly in place, so I'm going to get to my point. That kind of denial, that exact kind of denial, is what I keep bumping into when I try to talk to people about politics. That same exact level of denial and projection. And I know already that this video won't do a dang thing to stop it, despite the fact that I'm elucidating this problem as clearly as a human being can possibly do. People in denial will watch this and they will either get angry at me for poking their hornet's nest, or they will feel certain that what I'm describing here only applies to them over there, certainly not to me. That's how denial and projection works. This is how our own minds lie to us. Our own minds are the biggest con artists that we know. You know, to see whether I'm telling you the truth, all you have to do is spend an hour investigating optical illusions on the internet, and you will be shocked to discover that our wonderful mind literally cannot see things that are right in front of us, reflecting light into our corneas, if we don't believe they're there. And likewise, we will see things that are not there if we believe that they are. Our minds lie. It's almost their job, guys. And it's so important for us to know this and to manage it effectively so we don't fall prey to delusion. I mean, look, every one of us has already fallen prey to delusion right this very moment. There are things we're deluded about. The only question is what and how deeply. Guys, don't worry. We can find our way back out of delusion, but the first step is we have to realize it's happening, and we have to be open to looking at it. Otherwise, we'll be locked in place like my buddy screaming angrily that he's not angry. And of course, I'm not just talking about you guys. I'm talking about me too. If you think I'm denying and projecting something, you're probably right. Please let me know specifically what it is in the comments. I'm actually completely open to looking at it. I really don't have anything to defend in that regard. My ego doesn't need to deny that I'm denying something. I'm willing to consider anything and follow the data wherever it leads me. If it points to shortcomings inside of me, that's freaking awesome. That means I get to see something that's holding me back, something that I couldn't see by myself, something that only you could see, and then I can let it go. Self-improvement is not some dangerous thing. It's like a birthday party. We literally give birth to a new and improved version of ourselves. And guys, there's nothing to be afraid of there. It's okay to lower the defenses and be fallible or whatever we are in the moment. I've done it, I promise you, 1,000 times, and I've never once regretted it. Guys, being human really doesn't have to be so hard. I promise you.